It's one thing to hold a belief so deeply that it becomes a password into group acceptance, which is basically the meaning of shibboleth. But it's extremely pig-headed to continue with such a shibboleth, to demand a password into group acceptance based on a belief system that is shown to be founded on very treacherous falsehoods. When people are set to believe something, challenging the right to believe it, even if they're projecting it onto an unwilling person as a form of oppression, is regarded as an attack when it shouldn't be. It should be enough that a person says, I don't want to. But I'm not dealing with that sort of mania. What I'm dealing with is a much more complicated and devious situation. Complicated and devious situation I call a double narrative, because the hidden transcript, as they're known in linguistic anthropology, some of you may not have had the privilege of attending a community college where there were honors classes for achievers. So you might not have taken linguistic anthropology and you might not understand what I mean by hidden transcripts. But hidden transcripts means discussions that are held behind the scenes and formulated into platforms, bumper stickers, shibboleths that people just accept without thinking. But in the case of Lenin's Houdini, you might think the hidden transcript is sacred, that the hidden transcript means that it is only possible to believe that Lenin died, and therefore someone is to blame other than the person who shot him, because it forms a narrative in which there's a dialectical struggle being put on from a merciless money bag commanding Hollywood to put it on. And so the shibboleths become the right to own, and they become much more than a belief system. Now, some people might say the belief system is a matter of principle, and the economic issue comes second. After all, the money bag, the purse, the spoils fight was ordained by the greater victim, Ronald Reagan. And he was echoed by Edgar Martinez, who called it a good plan. Why not make vice pay for the consequences of vice? But behind this facade of a rational narrative, it's like the shadow of the boy on a swing on the wall in Hiroshima. You no longer see the boy on the swing, but you see the shadow in the wall, and it testifies that he was once there. That Lenin escaped leaves a shadow on the wall. That Lenin planned the whole thing leaves a shadow on the wall. I call attention to the way that Jaime Carbonell worked with Andrea Swimmer on a tape that they already knew pertained to Mark Mancini, Don Ostro, and Terry Visco. They claimed it was made for TV, that it was Terry Visco's movie, that they were the fortune hunters from Mercy Hospital. Ming-Na Wen even though she did voiceovers, Greg Carl, even though he spoke of impinging on the persona's experience and constructing a persona, got away with it through blackmail. Blackmail is the shadow on the wall. Blackmail is the shadow on the wall because if they weren't blackmailing, they would have been trying to identify what happened from the presence of an obvious script. They would have been trying to differentiate between those who wrote the script and planned it and those who were caught in the script's web and victimized. They wouldn't have had to single me out because I would have been one of the many people who was stupefied by the situation. Instead, they decided to single me out and blackmail me for the people responsible. These arrogant professors of learning are promoting human trafficking. There's no other way about evaluating the form the shadow on the wall takes. They're pro-pornography as a form of extermination society science. The shadow on the wall that proves not in the mastermind is the look-alike the year before he Houdini'd of the author of the text, Gail Burston, on God Save the Queen by Peter Fripp, a friend of John Lennon.